We got to air it out. Let's air it out. So we got to air it out. Let's air it out. So
how do you say that? Air it out. Air it out.
Air it out.
You already know what time it is. It is the Air It Out podcast. I'm your humble host, Jerome Jones, and I'm here with all my favorite guys right here. We got Avery Collins right down here. What's going on, Avery? How you doing today, my man? Looking like you about to do some paintballing, man. What's going on? You're muted, sir.
I'm good, man. I'm blessed and highly favored. I wish I was going paintballing because paintballing is extremely fun. But yeah, man, I'm good. You know, we had a solid draft, so you know, obviously we're gonna talk about that in another episode. But we had a pretty solid draft, so I'm excited. You know.
We'll talk about that. Let's talk about my man Darius Riddick. What's going on, Darius? You got yourself a little quarterback. What's going on, man?
Yeah, you know, it's not the guy that I wanted Mac, but I really wanted Justin Fields. But you know, Mac Jones will do. We'll see if he can live up to the hype of being compared to Tom Brady, quote unquote. I've been seeing a lot of comparisons just because he's accurate. So, but I'm happy we got a franchise quarterback. So let's see what he can do, man.
We'll talk about that. We're gonna talk right about that right soon. But we're gonna get to my man Darren. I'm sorry. I was about to say. I say right. Darren Braxton, what's going on, my man? You got yourself a wide receiver. How you feeling? You've been asking for it.
Thank you. Thank you. Y'all have no idea how happy I cheered when the pick came in over Rashad Bateman. I'm like, oh, he still fell to us. He still is there. Let's go.
Avery got better aim than the Raiders. And what?
With the spice.
Juan, we miss you. Like, dude, we haven't heard from you in a while, and you come on with the fire like that. Whoa! Oh! Man,
he ain't lying.
Hey, I ain't saying that. We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that in a couple of episodes. But man, I am super excited because it is post draft. Everybody got their players. I feel like everybody on this panel got something they wanted or needed. You know, Darren's got his quarterback. Darren got his wide receiver. Avery got his boy Pitts. You did kind of want Pitts though. All right, and then I got my receiver. I'm happy about that. And not the guy I wanted. I wanted Chase, but it's fine. I like Smith too. But we're gonna talk about all that right now. We're gonna get into some post-draft conversations. And the first thing we're gonna talk about right now is the AFC East division. Let's give them some grades. I wonder who picked this topic up. Go to East first. Obviously, the only one in the AFC East. We're gonna talk about that first. So we got the Patriots. We talked about them getting.
It only made sense. It only made sense, man. That's all I'm
saying. Right. So we got the Patriots got Mac Jones. We got the Jets got the guy Zach Wilson. We got the Miami Dolphins got the wide receiver Waddle, and then what's the other team in that division? The Bills. A couple of new pass rushers to help that defense. So I want to know what is the grade you guys are giving up. I'm gonna hold off on Darius because he picked this topic and he forced us to get this division. So I'm gonna start with you, Darren. How do you feel about give each team a grade in this division with the draft, and how you think they're gonna how much you think they improved for the 2021 season?
All right, so some of the picks, other than the first round, I had to look at again. I've been working like crazy, but I do like the overall picks of all of these teams. None of them actually got lower than I believe, a B+ for me. So we'll get started. Bills did a great job with the pass rush. I love that they went and actually got another offensive tackle, but the Bills I only gave a B+ because I don't believe they needed to double dip. I would love to see him get a corner a little bit earlier to try to pair with Tre'Davious White. I like Levine Wallace, but I think a young blood to come in there and truly pair with White for a long period of time will be the better answer. The Dolphins, A-. They get an A- because almost every one of their picks hit a good note.
Ooh,
You have Waddle, you have Phillips, you have Holland, you have Long, and you have
The only
Heckenberg.
thing they beating us
So,
at.
they did a heck of a job drafting guys that they needed and that were going to be possible future cornerstones along that defense and offense. Patriots, I give y'all a B. Y'all got the guy you needed. It might not have been the guy you wanted, but it's a guy that you'll need in the long run. And then getting Barmore in the second round, oh, that was nice. I love that pick. I really did. He's an absolute monster inside. And then Perkins, I feel as though it's a pretty good pickup for you guys as well. But I would have loved for you guys to try to get a Watt out a little bit early. That's really my main concern with you guys. I know you went and got Kendrick Bourne and Nelson Aguilar, but you're going to still need the number one. And I don't see a number one on the team.
We got 2 tight ends. That's all we need.
Jets, I gave those guys a B+. The Jets got a B+ because they hit on almost all 4 of their first picks. And each one of those guys are going to be either an impact starter at the very, very beginning or at some point will give and show that they have star potential. I'm mainly talking about Mr. running back from UNC, Michael Carter. I loved him in the 4th round. He was a 2nd round pick in my eyes, possibly a 3rd. Elijah Moore, yes. He could have been taken in the 1st round, but I do like him in that offense for you guys, and then getting another blocker to make sure that Wilson is actually protected. Good. Yeah, I personally would have took Fields over Wilson, but TJ and y'all got y'all guy, gave him the protection, you gave him weapons. What else can you ask for, really?
Definitely. All right, let's get to Adrian. How you feel about these draft picks? As you see, our commenters are giving their grades as well and putting their comments in as well. So I want to know what you guys think about these this division, the AFC East.
I'm saying peace out to my little guy. Come on, man. Say what's up to people, man.
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on, buddy?
Armani, you know what I'm saying? What's up?
The future of Inside the Hash is right there. Let's go.
Right there, right?
You about to be out?
Yeah.
All right. Tell your mom and dad and your brother I said bye.
Awesome. That's awesome to see, man.
Huh? Peace.
He's like, I'm about to be on this podcast. I'm about to take a spot.
Feel me? That's it. That's what I want. So, I'm gonna go with the lowest to the top. I think the AFC had a pretty good AFC East had a pretty good draft as a whole. Actually, there weren't too many question marks, with the picks or anything like that. So, I'm gonna start. Jesus Lord, I almost dropped my phone. So I'm going to start with the lowest. I think the Bills had. I had them at the lowest. I gave them a C+. I wasn't blown away by any of their picks. Obviously, this draft wasn't extremely heavy on the defensive side as far as talent, right? We weren't toting guys, especially edge rushers. We weren't saying, "Oh my goodness, this is the next Von Miller. This is the next Khalil Mack. This is the next," right? So I think they did what they had to do with what was available, and I do believe that they do have some cornerstone pieces that they did draft that can be solid players. I think the highest ceiling obviously is Greg Rousseau, but I think even with that, again, it's like, what is the ceiling? I think to me, I've said his ceiling could potentially be Cam Jordan. If he can get to Cam Jordan level, that's phenomenal. That to me, that would be a steal, honestly, because like I said, in this year's draft, didn't see too much on that side of the ball. So I'm going to give the Bills a C+. I think there were some other issues that I think they could have addressed with the offensive line. They did go tackle in the 3rd, but I still believe that they could have, bolstered that a little bit more. Next, I'm going to go with the the ceiling is the roof. That's right. Next, I'm going to go with the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins had a really good draft early on, and then they kind of tapered off. But I believe that obviously getting Jalen Waddle, I think he's one of the top 3 route runners in this draft, without question. Obviously, we know the speed is there. Excuse me. Pair him up with Devontae Parker. The fact that Tua has some relationship with him as well is something that's good. And I kind of question if they
got Will Fuller.
Exactly, and I kind of question if they reached out to Tua and said, hey, between these 2 guys, who would you rather have? And I think he might have, played a part in that. And I believe, me personally, and Devontae Smith has already said it, so nobody come kill me for this statement, but I don't believe Devontae Smith wins the Heisman if Jalen Waddle's on the field. I think that because the way Mac Jones liked to spread the ball out and the way that Jalen Waddle with his speed and his route running, I think it'll been spread out a lot more. And I think somebody else would have won. So I gave the Dolphins, excuse me, a B. Then I'm going to go with the Patriots here.
Wow, Chris. Wow.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah. So I'm going to go with the Patriots here. I gave the Patriots an A-. I think they had a phenomenal first 3 picks, man. I think they kind of knocked it out the park to me. I think Mac Jones, again, from an accuracy standpoint, he's probably the most accurate quarterback in this class. He's got it between the ears, right? He showed at Alabama he's capable of spreading the ball out, spreading the ball around. I question, obviously, things like arm strength, and mobility and different things like that, but he's got great pocket awareness.
Before you continue, on that comment, Parker is actually the 50-50 ball guy.
Yeah.
If you looked at what he did with the Eagles 2 years ago, just watch that game.
Yeah, Devontae Parker's a dog. It took a while for him to really,
really get it, but he got it now.
He's a dog. So, like I said, I mean, I'm wondering, like Darren, what they're going to do weapons wise with Mac Jones, because he was surrounded by weapons at Alabama. So it could be a situation where we're going to really have to see if this guy can, make the guys around him better. But like I said, after that, I mean, again, getting Barmore in the 2nd round, absolute steal. Absolute. Darius is correct. That's an absolute steal. I again, not extremely. Yep. Not extremely high on anybody in this, defensively, outside of maybe some of the D-backs. But again, arguably the best D tackle in the draft this year. So, getting him in the 2nd was phenomenal. And then getting Rodney Perkins, who I think is honestly, to me, top 3 as far as defensive ends coming out this year. He's somebody that I wouldn't mind having on my team. So, yeah, I think the Patriots, knocked it out. And then to get Stevenson in the 4th, that was phenomenal, because he definitely gives me, a 3-down back vibe. So I think the Patriots did, a pretty good job. So A- to them. And then we move on to the Jets, man. The Jets, they get a solid A. The reason they're not getting an A+ is because I would have taken Justin Fields over Zach Wilson as well. I'm not super sold on
that's Very Tucker. Tucker.
I mean, I'll see. We'll see, right? We'll see. But here's the reason the Jets don't get an A+, I should say. 1, they traded Sam Darnold. 2, they drafted Zach Wilson instead of Justin Fields. And 3, everything that they did after drafting Zach Wilson was phenomenal, but it pissed me off because you didn't do it for Sam Darnold. That was complete and utter disrespect in my eyes. I was like, that, to me, it made absolutely no sense. You did not give Zach Wilson an AVT. You didn't give him an Elijah Moore. You didn't give him a Michael Carter. You didn't give him these players. And so that frustrated me that they did not build around Sam Darnold, who has all the tools in his toolbox and who I believe is a better quarterback as a whole than Zach Wilson. I mean, like I said, we've seen that in the league, he hasn't been completely trash. He hasn't been phenomenal, but he showed glimpses of, stardom. So I think they got an A, but they could have gotten an A+.
He only been seeing ghosts. I mean, that's about it.
Yeah. So, like I said, they got an A, but I think they could have gotten an A+. And really, 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 honestly, they could have blown everybody away And as far as draft, they would have been my number one team drafting if they drafted Justin Fields over Zach Wilson.
All right, and Darius, I know you're dying to talk about your.
Can't contain the excitement.
Hey, give everybody else and your teams an A+, right? All right.
I'm gonna be honest, man. I was kind of torn. I wouldn't give the Patriots an A. I would probably give them a B minus, simply just because of after the first 3 picks, I was really hoping that they would get a wide receiver, just because this wide receiver class was deep. But it only tells me that, one, they believe in N'Keal Harry, that they spent the first round pick 2 years ago, or two, they're going to trade for a veteran wide receiver when the season goes on. Now, it's either one of those two things. And you got Kendrick Bourne, you got Nelson Aguilar. These are guys who aren't considered number 1 wide receivers. They're considered number 2 and number 3. They'll do all the 30 work, but you need somebody that's going to go out there and be the number 1 receiver. So after Mac Jones, I like the Mac Jones pick just because you get a franchise quarterback. Like Avery said, he has the tools. He's smart. He played in a similar system in Alabama, right? And you surround him with somewhat of the talent. You have the 2 tight end sets. You have some solid receivers. Christian Bateman, that was a really big steal. Something that the Patriots lacked was the run defense. They got gashed. Every team that they played was able to run the ball. So what do? You get some big defensive tackles that can stop the run and force teams to beat you through the air. So I love that pick. Ronnie Perkins, a rotational guy who would come in and, he could probably get 4 or 5 sacks depending on how much he plays. And then the running back, I love it because Sony Michel, he's probably going to leave. I think he's going to be gone. And this is Damian Harris' team, and it could be a 1-2-3 Earth, Wind, and Fire type of running back combination. So I give them a B. And then they decided to drop a wide receiver in the 7th round. I don't know. Maybe he's going to make the team. Maybe he won't. But they did decide to draft a wide receiver.
Let me just say, as far as do you know the receiver that they got, Darius?
I forgot. He's from UCF.
I got it right here. But while I'm bringing it up,
I think I know about
Will Sherman. I know, not Will Sherman. I'm sorry.
Trey Nixon from UCF. Yeah. So I think, and this is a small hot take here, I think there's potential that if they see enough from Mac Jones that he gathers the offense, Cam Newton gets traded for Allen Robinson. And that allows the Chicago Bears to kind of sit Justin Fields for a little, and just kind of learn the NFL a little more, because I think there is some development that still needs to happen with Justin Fields. But I got a strange feeling that the Bears they might make that trade. Cam Newton for Allen Robinson. I don't think they should, but
that's a weird trade.
It is. Obviously, it'll be some more stuff in there. But
wait. To add to that trade, a 4th or 5th rounder from New England, either Andy Dalton or Nick Foles. But I'm actually leaning more towards Nick Foles.
Like I said, I know it's going to be some. It would have to be some moving parts for that to happen. But I'm just saying, like, I could see the Patriots doing something. I don't see the Bears doing it, but I can see the Patriots trying to do something.
Never know what Bill Belichick.
See the Bears doing it because it will allow them to get a full year of Justin Fields just learning and take the full Patrick Mahomes. Listen, just don't do 9. Very last game of the year, we might put you in if we're in a good enough spot and see where we're at from there.
All right. I want to really, really quickly answer Juan's question. He said over and under. Well, Mac Jones will start 7 games. I'm gonna start with Darius. What do you think?
Can I answer that question after the schedule release? No. And the reason why I say this is because depending on who we play the first 7, I would say the first 3 or 4 games is going to determine that answer. Now, I personally think if Cam Newton struggles the first 3 or 4 games where he's not playing the way he's supposed to play. Everybody say he doesn't have weapons. You give him some type of weapons. You give him 2 tight ends. He loves his tight ends. You give him solid wide receivers. Now he has to go out there and actually play. It's no more excuses. So if he can't get it with the 3rd or 4th game, I'm all for pulling him and letting Mac Jones start for the rest of the season. So I really want to wait until see who we play in our first 3 to 4 games. Then I'll be able to answer that question, because that's really what's going to determine that answer for me.
I agree with Chris's statement. that the Panthers only have one good wide
About the
receiver.
Bears as well.
Like I said, it wouldn't make sense for the Bears to do it, but I can see Bill trying to do it.
Darren?
Over under. I'm going to go under. I don't think Mac, because I think Cam Newton now has a full off season. I think Cam is going to come out with a vengeance. Again, I'm not saying we're going to see MVP 2015 Cam, but I think we're going to see a much better version of Cam who finally understands the offense. And again, that offense is pretty tough to kind of grasp. And Cam even said it. Now that you're talking about a seasoned veteran in the league who said, yeah, it took me a while to kind of grasp his offense. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to be the same learning curve for Mac Jones. So I think they're going to ease him into the process there. And I think Cam is going to, play this year out. I would take the under.
I will say this. You gotta remember, Cam Newton week 1 and 2 looked really good. Like against Seattle, and Seattle's defense was a lot of question marks, but the guy almost threw for 400 yards and won the game. It was literally after the whole COVID situation when he started to really struggle. Week 1 against Miami, he played okay. Week 2, he balled out, and then after COVID, we saw the struggles. We saw the throwing the ball towards the third. We saw the interceptions and the fumbles and different things like that. So, again, the first 3 or 4 games, if you see that, you got to pull him and let Mac Jones come in, because at some point you want him to kind of get his feet wet during the season. So that's just how I feel.
Darren, let's get your quick take on that Mac Jones starting.
Under. It's real simple. It's going to be under. I have to agree. After a full off season, Cam with actual somewhat weapons, he made Kelvin Benjamin, who was a 1-year guy, really look good.
No,
two tight ends that's actually good in this league, and then you give him at least some type of speed on the outside.
Not just Kelvin Benjamin, but Devin Funchess. Like
Devin Funchess.
Like he had multiple guys he made look good. They went somewhere else. Garbage.
Greg Olsen was 1,000-yard receipt tight end. Those like 2-3
exactly
because of Cam.
Exactly, and that's my point. Full all season with Superman. Listen, he might not be the fastest guy as he once was or anything like that, but he's going to do well. Mac Jones gets to learn.
He's still super Cam. I agree. Derek, I know you have to go, so wrap up your.
I'll be quick. So the Jets, I think the Jets are one of the teams that really won the draft. I think time will tell what Zach Wilson can do. He's in the Big Apple. He's going to have a lot of eyes on him, so he's going to have to perform because the Jets you're looking at it from a fan's perspective or a team's perspective. We traded Sam Darnold for you, so we're expecting you to come in and win us some games. Now, you don't have to win or get us to the play, but you have to win us some games. We got you some weapons on the offensive side. We got you some offensive line help. So you're coming in a situation where all you have to do is really just ball out like you were doing in BYU. So I think they want to draft the Buffalo Bills. They're one of those teams that really didn't need to do much because of what they did last year. But the main thing was get some help on the defensive line because they couldn't get pressure. They couldn't get pressure, and they went to the AFC Championship game. Now that they got some young guys on the defensive line, we'll see. We'll see if they're able to generate some pressure because we know what happens when you can get to the quarterback, especially in the NFL. It makes your secondary look amazing. And then with the Miami Dolphins, getting to Jalen Waddle was a huge plus. You got to give him some weapons. It's another situation. We got you some weapons now, something you said you wanted. Now go out there and ball. We got rid of Ryan Fitzpatrick. Go out there. We didn't re-sign him. We didn't bring him back in to mentor you. Brought him in for a year. He did what he had to do. Now he's gone. So go out there and ball out. So I gave the Dolphins a B+. So
I want to give Dolphins the biggest grade because they did not buy into the early hype of them needing a new quarterback right away. They didn't buy into that. I'm like, man, come on, give the kid some time. He's a rookie, man. Like, what y'all doing? So, I know the fans get a little, over dramatic sometimes. And he's not that good. He's a rookie that's coming off a major injury. Relax, give him some weapons, give him some protection, and let's see what he can do this year.
Now, if he struggles, then it's on him.
Give him another 2 years. It takes some time.
It does. It does. You got weapons. You got the help now. You got the offensive line.
I was really about to say everybody's not Patrick Mahomes, but even Patrick Mahomes got time, so you can't just rush these things. You gotta let it. You gotta let it. Let it marinate, baby. Let it marinate. So, Darius, I know you gotta go. Thank you so much for being on here. We'll see you later, man. Good luck with everything. Real quick, we're gonna get into some questions real quick before we get to our next one. When you have McCannigan and Gase running the team, there's always interruptions or imputations in the air. I agree. Yeah.
Ineptitude.
Yep.
Okay. It's so small on my phone, I can't even see. Yeah. Okay. That makes
I
sense.
forgot you were on your phone. I'm sitting there like, why is he squinting so hard? I know Jerome could see.
Guys. Technology been bad this week for me, so I'm just doing it. I
like that one.
Plus, 2019 was a learning curve for Douglas, where he really learned how to build the team. I feel bad that happened with Darnold on a roster. Totally agree with that. And Chris also says, which rookie would have the biggest selling jersey? Ooh, that is a good question. I'm
gonna go Trevor. I'm gonna go Trevor Lawrence only because, like, you got Duval. They don't play about the Jaguars, and they getting that number one pick. And if he's any semblance of what he was at Clemson, yeah, man.
I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna actually say, and this might be a little biased, but I know how my city is, even though I'm not there no more, guys. I miss you guys. Devontae Smith. I know how Eagles fans do. Like, they get a name and they like, oh, a receiver, and they're gonna go get his jersey. It's a 6. Come on,
I mean, if you're talking homers, then, like I said, Kyle Pitts is the highest drafted tight end in NFL history. If let's say he scores 8 to 10 touchdowns this year, them jersey sales are going to be high. Because you're automatically going to think a Hall of Fame.
I'm not going to pick anybody over Trevor Lawrence, though, because
Trevor Lawrence and Chase. That's the two.
He's been a savior.
Chase is going to be it because they have new uniforms.
Yeah, that too.
The new uniforms and the connection with him and Burrow. If you got a Burrow jersey, you gotta have the other one. You gotta have number 6.
I think it's gonna be. Look, this is why another reason why I think it's gonna be Trevor Lawrence, because he did the whole charity thing before he even got drafted for Duval. So they already loving him. They gave his money back. Like what they did was he just had a wedding, and during his wedding, fans from Jacksonville gave him money, like gave him a wedding gift through money, and gave it to him, and he took that money and paid it to charity for Duval. So I think automatically that's just gonna straight give people like, this guy's the best. And plus the man been the man since high school, man. Like, not even high school. He was just getting into high school.
Yeah,
they got there.
They love that guy down there. I think he's gonna definitely be the highest selling jersey. I don't think it's gonna be anybody else. So yeah, man.
Dre the Great, thank you for being on. First time commenter. He said
he's glad his team didn't draft Greg Roos. Who's your team? Dre the Great. You gotta let us know who your team is, Dre.
Yeah. His team definitely drafted. I mean, Gregory Rousseau did get drafted early, and Juan says got to go with Fields. Yeah, I think that might be another good one. I just can't get over the Duval whole thing. So I just think Trevor Lawrence. I'm not always the type to go for the number 1 first overall pick all the time, but from just what I just said earlier, I just think that he's going to be the best one.
If Justin Fields starts and wins 9 games, then I can see it. But Trevor, like, just off the strength, he doesn't even have to win early. It's just the fact of who he is. The fact, like, and they're going to give him time and they're going to give him chances. It's Trevor Lawrence.
Definitely. All right. Well, in the midst of all the draft stuff that was going on, we had big news about Aaron Rodgers getting dropped right into the draft time, man. It was rumors that Aaron Rodgers did not want to play another down for Green Bay. Since that went down, it went down during draft time, so everything was already chaotic. I knew for sure he wasn't going to draft. He's going to get traded during draft day when that news came out on draft day. So I was like, all right, he's not going to get traded, but this is going to be news, and it has been so far. There have been rumors about who said what, and Aaron Rodgers was the one that put the news out there, and then Aaron Rodgers said that, it's very unfortunate that the news came out. So now people are like, all right, who put the news out there like this? And during draft day, so out of all day, taken away from all these kids and paying his game out there. So it's a lot of drama right now. I want to know what you guys think. I'm gonna start with you, Avery. How do you feel about this whole Aaron Rodgers situation? Do you think that he's gonna get traded? You think this is gonna get resolved? What's your thought on this whole deal?
I don't. It's tough, man. I'm not sure, man. It's like part of me is like, there's no way Aaron Rodgers doesn't retire.
Chris, real quick, Chris, you are such a Bear fan, but go ahead.
But yeah, I like I said, it's tough because, like I said, it's tough to see Aaron Rodgers in a uniform other than Green Bay. But at the same time, we've also seen Green Bay let go of Brett Favre. We've also seen for the last couple of years Aaron Rodgers be pretty upset with the organization. So, I mean, I don't know if they're going to trade him. So that's it's tough. I don't know. If they do trade him, obviously I don't think he stays in the NFC. I think they trade him to the AFC. But it's really tough. I'm going to lean toward Aaron Rodgers does play for the Packers this year.
Boo on Chris. Boo. Sorry. Like Juan said, and I think that news just came out today about the Dan Patrick thing, where Adam Schefter said he had no source on that when he broke the news. It's kind of weird for Adam Schefter to do because he's really thorough on making sure that he knows his sources. So I don't. Again, like I said, it's a whole drama fest. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they want to pick something out because right after the draft, there's no word or not much talk and stuff like that. So give us something to talk about for a little bit. I don't know, but it was strange timing. I think it was weird. And Chris says Rodgers to Philly. I 100% endorse that statement. It's not gonna happen, but I endorse that. Everybody's like, no.
What's wrong with y'all? Like, why? What's wrong with y'all? Everybody to Philly. Everybody to Philly. Julio to Philly. Aaron Rodgers to Philly. Deshaun Watson to Philly. They don't want to be there. They seen what y'all did to Carson Wentz. They don't want to be there. And why would you want an aging quarterback who doesn't? If he's clearly somebody who's like, I don't care about going against the organization. Like, why would you want that? Come on, y'all. Come on.
I just think that Aaron Rodgers is not ready for the rebuild mode. Like, he's win now kind of mode. If he was going to get traded, he needed to go to a team that is more collectively organized than the Eagles right now. Darren, how do you feel about the whole Aaron Rodgers situation?
First off, did you hear the teams that he wanted to go to? If Aaron Rodgers gets on any of those teams, the Raiders, the Broncos, he wants to be able to, go up against the best of the best. Because that AFC West is stacked as long as Patrick Mahomes is there. And 2 times a year, Rodgers and Mahomes, that would be love to watch. But on top of all of that, you got to think, that man really has done everything he had to do for that organization. He's basically the man in that town. And if he won something, he's always been able to get it. Now, after all of the disrespect, after the Jordan Love situation the last year, after years and years of not giving him a wide receiver in at least the first round, listen, the man wants his respect. He's not getting it. So I'm not surprised that it's happening.
Who's more loved in Green Bay, Favre or Rodgers?
So, honestly, I believe it might be a flip of a coin. And I believe it's a flip of a coin because you have to understand how much fans hate when certain players switch teams.
I think it's Rodgers without question because you got to remember, Favre went to the rival. He went to the Vikings. Like
that's my point, though. That is
like,
my point.
I don't know,
But you still have those guys that love Favre for what he did for the organization, and that's why I say it's almost a flip of the coin because you have the guys that hate when guys go to different organizations, especially them.
Oh, Avery.
That doesn't make sense. Yeah, I didn't want to draft a quarterback because our quarterback is not the issue. That's why I didn't want to draft a quarterback. Y'all need a quarterback because y'all don't have Carson Wentz anymore. Y'all need a quarterback because it clearly shows that y'all don't believe in Jalen Hurts. What are we talking about right now? Our quarterback is not the issue. Since Kyle Shanahan has left, he's led the league in passing yards. What are we talking about? He's led the league in passing. Like, he's doing his job. He's consistent. We can't stop anybody from scoring. And like I said before, I wouldn't be mad if we drafted a quarterback. I would just prefer if we traded back and got defense. So don't do that. Like, y'all want a 40-year-old quarterback who, again, is showing now that he's like, I don't care about going against the organization. If I don't get what I want, that's what y'all want after having Carson Wentz instead of letting Jalen Hurts actually have a shot, who's younger, who's just as athletic, who can throw the football. What are we talking about?
Boom. Boom.
Yeah.
Sure. Get him for a year or two, and then he retires, and you still don't win anything. Because as Jerome pointed out, because he's an objective fan, there's other holes outside of that. Why we're going? I mean, because you're not getting Rodgers for cheap. You're not doing that. You know what I mean? You're not doing that. So you're not about to sit here and be like, okay, yeah, well, we're going to get him for cheap and everything's going to be fine. No, you still have to rebuild around Aaron Rodgers. As you can see, for years he was complaining. 2 years ago, he finally said, oh, we finally got a defense. They finally got him a running back. All of these different things. What are we talking about?
Avery, I'm gonna pause on you real quick because we're gonna do the first time ever on Inside the Air It Out podcast. We're gonna see if Chris can get on. We're gonna try to pick Chris on. We're gonna try to do that. So
I'm all for it.
Y'all keep talking. Talking Rodgers, but Chris, if you can get on, see if you can get on. I'm gonna try to put you on. I'm gonna add you on here. If you get on, you can. If you can't, that's fine. But we're gonna try to get Chris on. All right.
Send him the link, man. Send him the link. You know. But yeah, man. Like I said, I don't see him not playing in Green Bay right now. I think it's more of a situation where he's a little disgruntled, more so than it is. He's like, I just need to get out of here because, and reports are coming out. John Kuhn is saying that he's conflicted, right? He doesn't want to leave Green Bay. Green Bay has supported him his entire career. Green Bay has been behind him his entire career. All of those different things. So it's just like I don't think he wants to leave from that aspect. I think he just can't stand how the organization is being ran right now, and the fact that he doesn't necessarily have as much control as he would like to, being that he's a franchise guy.
Avery, the report already came out that before the season was once the season was over, he was already telling his team, "Hey, y'all not gonna see me in Green Bay no more." That's a wrap on it. It's a wrap on it. If you're talking about it for this long, for this many months, this is something that's not just a small little incident that's isolated. This is a growing problem that's now to the point of it has to go down. It's going to happen. And I don't feel as though he will ever play in the Packers uniform. If it's as serious as it's said, it's as serious as the reports are out there, he does not play. He is almost in a situation like Watson where he just doesn't play for a team until he gets traded. And if that happens,
where do you see him ending up?
So right now, I can easily see this happening.
My man says, "Send me the link. He is ready." You gotta get you on, Chris.
Really fast. To the Broncos. That's my best team for Rodgers. I feel as though the Broncos will have enough space. They did just take on Teddy Bridgewater, so they can be able to trade him and have him as a veteran backup for the Packers as Jordan Love now comes in after a year of learning under Rodgers, making that situation just an easy stepping stone. They've already started to build for the future with some of their picks that they've done, especially in the second round of last year with A.J. Dillon as now a workhorse, re-signing Aaron Jones, making sure that defense is set up for a long-term success rate. You still need to adjust the second line on that defense. But overall, that team is ready to go now. And with him being on his rookie deal, it will be the best time for it to happen. So, the Broncos want a quarterback. They get a reliable veteran quarterback, somebody that can also now teach Drew Lock, who they still have in their team. They get 2 to 3 years out of him. Drew Lock will already know what to do. Drew Lock can re-sign for 2 years just to show. Call it a day. That's the best case scenario, especially with the Broncos defense. And Patrick Surtain now, along with Kyle. Listen.
I mean, I believe that's probably the best case scenario if it does in fact happen. I can probably agree there. But another team, and they're not going to do it because it's within the division. But the Vikings, right? Like I think the Vikings would be a really good landing spot for Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they're going to do it because they're within the division.
He is. We want all the smoke. We want all the smoke. What's going on, Chris?
Yes, sir.
Good to have you on, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, Chris? Oh man, y'all went from the comments to live in person. Let's get it. Round one.
I want all the Twitter fingers out.
Keep that same energy, Chris.
Avery, when do I never keep that same energy? I need to know this.
You know he came ready.
We took Aaron Rodgers something.
You know he came ready.
Yeah. All right, cool.
The tear down and everything.
No, but as far as Aaron Rodgers goes, honestly, I kind of feel like it's more the organization's fault. When somebody brought up a real good point, when it comes to getting offensive line help, because you saw Patrick Mahomes get a lower body injury, having to run for his life, they fixed the offensive line. You saw that Lamar Jackson needed help at wide receiver. They went out and they got Rashard Bateman and also Tyrone Wallace. Brady literally got everything he wanted for down in Tampa Bay. But after he got there and he won all 22 starters back, he got exactly what he wanted. Aaron Rodgers just wanted input in regards to that organization, and they completely disregarded him. They've drafted one offensive player in that first round, and that's the guy they're eventually going to replace him with. Green Bay really can't be mad at Aaron Rodgers once out. He's just beating them to the punch. You already drafted Jordan Love. You already saying that we don't want you here long term. So it's just Aaron Rodgers beating to the punch. It kind of reminds me of, Cleveland. LeBron wanted out of Cleveland, but Kyrie beat him to the punch first. So Kyrie got the heat because he wanted out of Cleveland first before LeBron did. This is just kind of the same scenario for me.
Yeah. I can. Like I said, I agree. I'm not blaming Aaron at all. I think this is easily the organization's fault. And if I'm an advocate for Aaron Rodgers getting out of there if that is in fact the case. Like I said, it's just I don't know if he really wants to leave. I think he wants to leave from an organizational standpoint, but because of the fan base, just the nostalgia, just the love for the town and the city and all those things, I don't think he would want to do that. Necessarily. I think that though he realizes I'm still literally he's almost 40, but he's one of the most talented quarterbacks probably still in this league right now. Like we're seeing the trend of young, athletic, mobile quarterbacks with strong arms, and he's like, yeah, I've been that. Like I've been that, and I've been doing it. I've just haven't had the help that a Patrick Mahomes has had, that a Lamar Jackson has had. That so it's a situation where I agree that the organization has not done a great job of putting good teams around him. Letting go of Jordy Nelson and not just it's so many different things that just didn't make sense to me. Bringing in Jimmy Graham, and it's like he doesn't throw the tight ends, and then he finally throws the tight ends, and it's not Jimmy Graham, it's Robert Tonyan, but it's sick, So yeah.
To add real quick there, to add to what both of you are saying, Aaron Rodgers don't seem like he wants to actually leave Green Bay. There was reports that he said that he don't even want to be there with the GM. It was the GM, and it's not the first time he pushed somebody out. He pushed out McCarthy. He got him out. So I think like Aaron Rodgers is like, well, I did it with one guy. I can push and try to get another guy out of here that I want.
He did it with Greg Jennings too.
And the amount of disrespect because the fact that Aaron Rodgers had the wide receiver Kumaro and he just got online and just telling everybody, yo, this kid, he's playing really well in practice. Like, watch out for him. And then the week later, you cut him off the team. Like, that's ultimate disrespect to Aaron Rodgers. And I understand where he's coming from that standpoint. So I don't think, like most people are saying, I don't think it's a Green Bay thing. I think it's the GM. I just don't think he feel the respect from the GM now. Like you got his replacement, you didn't help him out, you cut the guy that he thought was doing well right after he publicly said it. You making him look funny right now. So I understand that. Darren, you have something to say real quick?
Yeah, it's just something I thought about when you already said Aaron Rodgers was like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Would you guys agree? Yes or no? Patrick Mahomes is a more athletic Aaron Rodgers.
No, I would disagree only because Aaron Rodgers, like I said, and I stick by this. As much as I love Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers is the most talented quarterback I've ever seen play the game of football, like ever. Like he's the most talented quarterback I've ever seen. You talk about mobility, you talk about just accuracy on the run, accuracy from different arm angles, arm strength, IQ, just every single thing. There's no weakness in Aaron Rodgers' game. I think there's still some weakness in Patrick's game. Now, granted, obviously Aaron Rodgers is a veteran. He's been around, much longer than Patrick Mahomes. So could he potentially turn into that? Yeah, for sure. So I mean, I guess maybe if that's your question, is he the second coming? I guess, but like right now. That's like Aaron Rodgers.
No, not right now. Because
Chris,
we're talking right now. Yeah.
Chris, what's your take on that? I want to say something too, but your take first.
I would say to a degree kind of the same, but I think we really forgot how good Aaron Rodgers was like after he took over Brett Favre. Even though he went 6-10, Rodgers threw for 4,000 yards. Then after that, the following year, he got his team to the playoffs and was going touchdown for touchdown with Kurt Warner. Then the year after that, he outdueled Vic and Philly. He outdueled the number one seeded Atlanta Falcons in the Georgia Dome. He threw for more touchdowns and completions that game. The Chicago game, that was a little struggle, but even still, then that's a tough environment for any quarterback, and he got them. And he dominated a tough Pittsburgh defense in the Super Bowl. And then the year after that, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. I think that's the biggest difference between when I watch Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is a way more turnover prone, but it's like when you watch Aaron Rodgers go off script, throw against his body, those back shoulder throws, it's always with pinpoint accuracy. And they're always balls where it's like, okay, this ball has 0% chance of getting turned over. And I really think we forgot like how good a young Aaron Rodgers from like age 27 to like 32 was.
With less weapons as well. And that's not to take away from Patrick Mahomes, but Aaron Rodgers didn't have a Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Sammy Watkins. He didn't have a lot of the weapons that Aaron Rodgers – I mean, Patrick Mahomes has had a better defense, a better offensive line.
Not with speed.
Don't discredit his weapon because he did.
Like you can't discredit who he had.
Most of his guys were possession guys.
Yeah, Jordan Nelson. That's the only difference between the two sets of receivers are the speed. That's the main difference between the receivers. I
agree. But let me just ask you: you taking any of those guys over Travis Kelce?
No.
Are you taking half those guys that you mentioned over Tyreek Hill?
The name of the game now is speed. The name of the game now is speed, and that's why I said for the time when it happened, when he came in, those guys were it for the NFL.
I hear you, but my point is the talent level is definitely higher with what Patrick Mahomes has had compared to what Aaron Rodgers had. Not to say that those guys were scrubs.
To put in my closing remarks on the whole comparison to Mahomes thing, You got to think like right now, Aaron Rodgers is what 20, 30, 38, 39, 40, something like that.
He's 38.
38.
38.
Aaron Rodgers is as athletic as Mahomes right now. Right now. When Aaron Rodgers, he was running and moving a lot more than he is now. He wasn't like Patrick Mahomes is not really a runner either, but Patrick Mahomes would run more than Aaron Rodgers would. Aaron Rodgers could run. Aaron Rodgers. You gotta remember, Aaron Rodgers is very athletic. That one being said, and then two, I would say Aaron Rodgers protected that ball. Mahomes is more like Brett Favre in a sense, where he's more risk taking, how you call it, gunslinger. Yeah, you go. Gunslinger mentality, where you have Aaron Rodgers that the guy went almost 2 seasons without throwing a pick. Almost 2 seasons without throwing a pick. That guy don't turn the ball over. So in that regards, I would still say Aaron Rodgers is better in my opinion. Even now, it's close, but a slight edge to Aaron Rodgers because of that turnover situation. So that's just me. But we're talking about all the old heads that are in the game right now. Let's get right back to the new guys that are in the league right now. And we're going to talk about the draft that just went past and which first round picks you think will have the biggest impact on the team during this 2021 season. So I'm gonna start with you, Chris. I want to know, out of all the first round picks that just been in there, who you think will have the best impact in 2021?
I'm gonna go with the safe bet. I'm gonna go with the number 1 overall pick, Trevor Lawrence. There's no doubt he's not gonna start week 1. They have really good wide receiver core with Keelan Cole, Laviska Shenault, and James Robinson, and also Travis Etienne in the backfield. So I feel like, with the weapons that he has, it's going to give Jacksonville fans, something to root for. They're probably going to win 5 or 6 games, but I'm just going to go with the safe bet. They have a pretty good young wide receiver core, pretty dynamic backfield, a nice 3-headed monster now with James Robinson, who came in strong as an undrafted free agent, Carlos Hyde is the veteran, and Travis Etienne, who Urban Meyer already said he's going to be their third down back. So with everything that's going to be, available to him, I think the safe bet is going to be Trevor Lawrence.
The thing about Trevor Lawrence and the comment you said that he's not a star right away, I'm not too sure about that because the whole Minshew mania is kind of, died down a lot, and now it's the Trevor Lawrence mania. So I can't. He might be day one. There might be a hot take. I'm not sure, but he might be a day one starter.
I think that's what Chris said.
I thought you said no. I thought you said he might sit a little bit. I don't know. Maybe I misheard you.
No, I think he said he's probably going to start immediately and he's going to have great impact. But
I misheard you. I'm sorry, Chris, if you did say that. I apologize.
Yeah, I would agree. But that's just too safe, right? That's just too safe of a pick right there. And that's why I really don't like this question too much because it's like the number 1 overall pick is typically going to have the biggest impact, even if they don't play. Because if they don't play, like for example, when Baker Mayfield was the number 1 overall pick, he didn't play, but he had an impact because it's like when they were 2 and 5, they're like, all right, well, we need maybe Baker can come in and help, maybe get a spark, yada yada. So it's just like even if they don't play, they're going to have impact on the team. Maybe not on the field, but on the team. So yeah, I think I'm going to go with, in this case, I'm going to go with Najee Harris. I think in Pittsburgh, they're going to go back to running the football. They're going to go back to being a physical football team. I think that he is going to have a really, really solid first year, as long as he obviously can get the playbook. I mean, he's actually an underrated pass catcher out of the backfield. He's a 3-down back for sure. I think that he's going to have a really, really, really good impact. And then my dark horse to potentially do it is none other than Devontae Smith. I think because of the fact that the Eagles have longed for a receiver since their Super Bowl run, I think and couple that with the fact that there is some slight familiarity with Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith because they were on the roster at the same time when they did win that national championship that Tua threw the pass in. So there is some familiarity there. I think there's a situation that could be really good there, and as long as his size doesn't in fact become an issue in the NFL, which I don't think it will be because they don't have to be as physical. I think he has the potential to have a really good impact on the team this year.
What do you think, Darren?
So I got 3 picks. That's pretty good, honestly, in this case. First is going to definitely be Kyle Pitts. Kyle Pitts is going to do what he's going to do in that Atlanta offense. And hot take alert, Atlanta will average 35 points per game with those weapons that they have there. Mike Davis in the backfield is going to get at least maybe 8 touchdowns just rushing the ball. And then you still got Julio Jones. You still got Calvin Ridley. And Kyle Pitts down the middle. And they still got Russell Gage, who's a pretty good slot receiver, which a lot of people talk about. Definitely like that. Number 2 is actually Jalen Phillips with the Dolphins. I really like his fit there with Brian Flores, and I feel as though he can actually be a sneaky dark horse for Defensive Rookie of the Year, especially if he gets enough sacks. I do see him getting at least 6 or 7 just in that good defense alone because of the way he would be able to place him. But my dark horse guy is actually Trey Lance. A guy that he's going to have to sit behind Garoppolo. But
Why Trey Lance?
I feel as though Jimmy G will struggle early on. And if he struggles early on, 4 games in, we can see Trey Lance take over that team and give it another dynamic that they have not had, especially with those young guys. So that's the dark horse.
Chris, real quick.
Yeah, I gotta have to agree with Darren there. I mean, you got to think the 49ers have losing seasons 4 out of their last 5 with Shanahan and John Lynch as GM. So Trey Lance definitely gives them a different dynamic to hopefully, improve their offense and to win games. And as good as Jimmy Garoppolo is in terms of the win-loss column, he's just been unreliable when it comes to injury. Also, another dark horse, Penei Sewell from they got drafted number 7 overall to the Detroit Lions. When you look at the rest of their offensive line, Frank Rago, who got a contract extension, Taylor Decker, Deontay Swift is definitely going to have a monster year, especially with Deuce Staley coaching that running back room as well. It's not going to equate to them being a playoff team, but I think Jared Goff is probably going to be one of the most least sacked quarterbacks in the NFL.
All right, I'm going to give my take now. The question is, what player would have the most impact, the biggest impact for the team? Not MVP, not the sexy picks, not the quarterbacks, not the receivers. So, Avery, you're wrong. Darren, you're wrong. Chris, you said Penei Sewell, you're wrong. It's actually Rashawn Slater, bro. Come on, think about that. They redone that entire offensive line.
I had him up here.
It was the 3rd most sacked team last year, the 3rd most. And you already seen what Justin Herbert did then. They entirely revamped that offensive line. Rashawn Slater was the missing piece. They put him in there. That offense is going to go off. I don't care what you guys say. Mic drop. I'm out.
I mean,
I hope so. He's going to be my fantasy quarterback this year.
Some could say because they rebuilt the offensive line, he's a product of the rebuild. So, like some. I'm not saying I'm one of them. I think that's
why they said the biggest impact, not MVP, not the greatest player, the biggest impact, because that makes now they have an entire line that looks a lot better than last year. That entire line looks 100% different.
So that's the question: is it his impact or is it the impact of the new line?
But he's part of that new line, so he's an impact.
See, when I look at the question, is this which first round player, right? Not which first round player who's coming into a system of a new line, a new whatever. Like, and I'm not saying that he won't have an impact, but if you're coming into a new line, you can't. It's hard to give data to back up the fact that okay, he was the reason. It's one thing if the line was intact, he came in and it stepped up like a Quentin Nelson, right? The line was impact. Quentin Nelson came in and they shot to the top of the league. That's impact, right? So it's hard for me to say because they revamped it, it'll be in.
Well, here's my follow-up question to that. Even though Nelson was good on that offensive line, he had an individual impact, but he didn't make an impact on the team. That's what the quote says. make impact on their team. He didn't make an impact on that team because he didn't make that offense better. I think with him completing that line, Rashawn Slater completing that line.
Whoa, what?
Hold up.
Time out.
Quentin Nelson definitely made that offense better. Like, I do not care what Quentin Nelson made that team better.
Was bad. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying
Colts
he was
were
that much of a better team.
The Colts were a playoff team after they got Quentin Nelson, though. So Andrew Luck was one of the least sacked quarterbacks after being one of the most before Quentin Nelson got there. They went 11-5 and they won a playoff game.
Yeah, that's team. That's
the first was 3 straight like that.
That wasn't Quentin Nelson himself.
How you can't see, but you can't say that. You can't
say that and then say Rashawn Slater is doing that, man.
You can't say
I
that.
still don't see why Trey Lance is a bad pick.
The issue is the evidence supports our case where Quentin Nelson comes. Like, all right, the year before they don't make the playoffs, Quentin Nelson comes in and they go 11-5. Andrew Luck is one of the least sacked quarterbacks in the league, and they win the playoff game. That translates to impact.
No, I'm saying is Andrew Luck he was still getting sacked all the time. But Quentin Nelson was there on his rookie year. That's what I'm saying.
No, he was not.
Still getting sacked all the time. Andrew Luck was a generational quarterback, bro. Like, I don't use that word lightly, but he was a generational quarterback. So he was making that team a lot better than it looked. He was still getting sacked a lot. And that's part of the reason why he retired, because he was still getting sacked a lot. What I'm saying is, with Rashawn Slater in there, he's gonna make Justin Herbert and that offensive line a lot better, because the entire line is gonna have an impact on how Justin Fields. Are
you sure that's going to be Slater's impact? Are you sure that's going to be Slater's impact, or it's going to be Corey Lindsey's impact?
That's Jerome. You just proved my point.
Impact of the line. He's gonna have an impact on the team.
You just proved my point. You just proved my point. You said the line is going to have an impact, not Rashawn Slater. The offensive line. We're talking about what first round player. Not what first round.
No. Listen, if we're talking about an individual player, you can't use offensive line. It's not a good enough piece if more pieces added. You can't use the O lineman if there's more pieces added to that O line. If we're talking about individual players, the ones that always make the most stuff, quarterback, wide receiver, running back, or a defensive end.
Okay.
And a star-studded corner. That's it. Those are the guys.
All those other positions rely on somebody else, though. That's what I'm saying. Quarterback relies on the running backs and the wide receivers, and the offensive line. The receivers rely on the quarterback. The offensive line is a unit in itself. So that's what I'm saying. Like, even though, and what I'm trying to say is, even though Rashawn Slater is a part of the puzzle, he's going to have the impact because he's the final piece of the puzzle to make that offensive line as a whole lot better than it was last year when it was the third most sacked team. So that's what I'm trying to get at, that he's going to be the impact. Because if you look at the question, it said, which first-round player will make an impact on their team during the season, on the team. He's the final piece of that line. Be a lot better. I think he's going to be the biggest impact. He's going to have more holes that.
Jerome, I got to give you props. You actually got me and Avery on the same side of an argument.
Yeah, because I just don't. I can't see. Again, and I think he's going to have a phenomenal impact for sure, without question. I think he's a really good offensive lineman. I think he's going to have a huge impact. But as far as, again, being able to measure if it's the most impact, I don't know if I'll be able to say that because of the fact that they brought in other guys as well. For me, like I said, Najee Harris, he's coming in after James Conner's gone. Like, if he comes in and gets, because there was a certain, like, really, let's think about what happened with the Steelers. They couldn't run the ball after a certain point. If he comes in and he's able to get them to run the ball and close games out, that's going to be, a situation where you can say, yeah, no, he had an impact.
And Avery, that was a close second for me, to be honest. But what I'm saying, like, too, because what I'm trying to make sure is that we're not getting the idea that we're thinking rookie of the year too, because you can say because last year's rookie of the year, he didn't have an impact on that team. Can we just say that?
I agree.
All right, so I'm trying to get away from the rookie of the year look of guys and go into like, all right, who will have a huge impact on the team as a whole and as a general whole to help that team.
Najee Harris is not my pick for rookie of the year. He's actually not my pick for rookie of the year. It's actually Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is my pick for rookie of the year early on, right? So I think, but again, as far as impact, I just think Najee Harris is really going to.
I agree with that, Avery.
I really wish also they would really look at offensive linemen when it comes to rookie of the year, because Quinn Nelson should have won it like a few years ago, like because of his impact.
110%. We agree again. I just don't agree with the Rodgers to Philly. It doesn't make any sense. He's
listen, I just want the jersey. That's all I want.
Oh,
I don't care if it makes sense. I just want the Aaron Rodgers jersey.
That's all it's for. The truth comes out.
The truth will set you free.
Listen, man,
Rodgers can win the NFC East.
Get one of the all Green Bay jerseys, and people won't be able to tell the difference. They'll be like, "Oh, there you go," you know.
No, listen, it's a different shade of green. It's Kelly, it's midnight green, and then there's just like that dark forest green that's going on in Green Bay. There's a difference.
Don't mess with Eagles fans and their gear and everything. We can spot that out. If it's a fake, we know. If it's a fake, we'll know. Trust me. So with that being said,
I'm just saying a Kelly Green Rodgers jersey would be tough. Just saying.
Yeah, I ain't gonna hold you. One of them throwbacks with Rodgers on the back, that would be crazy. That would be crazy. I can't hold you on that. That would be hard.
Get a Richard Rodgers one and then switch to numbers.
We agree.
There you go.
Get a Richard Rodgers jersey and switch the numbers.
There you go.
What am I, a Cleveland Browns fan?
Listen, like I'm not gonna even act like I'm not even gonna try to imagine that because I'm not trying to get too hyped about that. But guys, this is gonna do it for the Air It Out podcast today. Chris, thank you so much for being on with us today as a special guest. Before we get off, Chris, I would love you to give your plugs and your shout outs and whatever you want to do before you get off.
Oh, absolutely. Check me out every single Tuesday on 98.5 WJYN, Running Back Sports Show, Sports for the Culture, every Tuesday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern. To call in, 215-763-9596. We talk about anything, man. Football, basketball. Listen, you want to talk about it? Our airways are open.
Definitely. Guys, make sure y'all check out InsideTheHatches.com. You can find all our content. You can listen to all the bunch load of players that got drafted this year. We interviewed a lot of them, particularly Jamie Davis from he got drafted to the Reds. The football team. Sorry guys, the football team just got drafted to the football team. I know I owe you $1. I apologize. He got drafted to the football team. Really good guy. So if you want to hear what he had to say before he got drafted, check that out, InsideTheHatches.com. And you can also find all that out on any platform that you listen to or any podcast. So Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, we have it all on there. So make sure you go and check that out as well. And also check out our social media, especially our YouTube channel. Make sure you check that out. We broadcast live on our YouTube channel, and if you don't catch us live, you can check it out later on the YouTube channel. Make sure you go in there, give your comments and things like that. But while you're there, make sure you like and subscribe. So every time you do go live and you want to come in and pick, your comments in the chat room, we might even add you into the live chat one day, like we did Chris today. So hey, it's a possibility. So make sure you do that. Like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you know when we are live. Please make sure you do that, guys. And that's gonna do it for us today, man. We had a good episode. I love being on with you guys. We got my man Avery Collins in the building. We got Darren Braxton right over here. I'm the host, Jerome Jones. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and spending your Thursday afternoon with us. Thank you so much, and we see you guys next week. Peace.